that these are becoming symbolic battles for larger political conflicts. Say, for instance, on the Cascade-Siskiyous, right? I mean, this is getting also translated into an argument over access to natural resources. But in reality, timber industry jobs are not going to come back by access to more timberlands, federal timberlands. That's not the problem for the timber industry jobs, right? Timber industry jobs are primarily have gone down largely through through automation, right? If we look at the 1980s through today, that the main source of job loss within the industry has actually been through automation. But symbolically, that's still an argument that gains truck, right? And talks about a bygone era of access to lands and access to a type of life that many in even my own community hold dear, right? And that my own background is in that industry in my family, and you know, the notion of, you know, jobs in the woods, right? That is something that many people hold dear. Finally, I think the other thing that I would say is, so we've looked at the economic, we've looked at the symbolic, and we can maybe come back to that. The third one is kind of the administrative, and we think about how we manage these public lands. And so, for instance, you know, the National Park Service is put in the, you know, unenviable position of having a dual mission, right, where they're supposed to conserve the resource, yet at the same time utilize that resource. And you know, from a political standpoint, that of course is going to lead to all sorts of conflicts. If we look at the management of our national parks, or if we look at the management of our state parks, questions that Bob already brought up, you know, questions of how many people are going to have access to it, questions of camping within the national parks or within the state parks, the access to alcohol, how many vehicles are you going to be allowed? All these things lead to additional conflicts over how they are managed. And I will stop.
Well, and that's a great segue, actually, to a question that we want to ask.